Hi, welcome back to Spiritual Life. I'm Carrie, a mindfulness teacher, and I'm here to support you to move from your head to your heart, from surviving to thriving, and to live a more conscious spiritual life. In today's video, we'll be talking about gratitude and living a fulfilled life, and we're going to cover what do we want from life, what is happiness, what is gratitude, how to work with gratitude, and how to achieve fulfillment. And we'll finish with a meditation and a poem at the end. So let's dive in. So gratitude and living a fulfilled life. It's a lighter topic, isn't it? A lot lighter than some of the ones we've been delving into, but that is life. We've got to deal with all the things that are going on. But today, gratitude and living a fulfilled life. Do we really pay attention to it? Let's find out. So the first thing is, what we need to find out is, what do we want from life? What is it we want from life? Because if we are not mindful of this and we're just going through the motions of life, then we're not going to get that sense of gratitude and fulfillment, are we? So the first things first, what do we want from life? Do we want to just work to pay the bills? Do we want to just do what society tells us to do? Go to university, get a job, get married, have a house, have, in whatever particular order. Is that a fulfilled life for you? Let's find out. What we want from life is to be happy, is to be free from suffering. As human beings, we want to be free from suffering. When we're suffering, we're not in fulfillment, we're not in gratitude, we're not in bliss. And what we need as human beings, what we really need, is connection. Now, I know there are some people that live on islands on their own and they're very happy. They live a self-sufficient, sustained life, and that's okay. Some people do and enjoy that and want to be that. But generally speaking, the human race needs connection to thrive, because you feel a sense of safety and security in numbers. It can have another effect when we think like that, because we also we also might think about people pleasing in that respect. If we're in connection and we want to be in a tribe, then it's almost like, well, what do I need to be in that tribe? Who do I need to be? How do I need to be to fit in? So again, with mindfulness, I think you're getting the gist of mindfulness now. It doesn't mean the one thing or the complete opposite. There is some middle ground, and it takes some thought around and some feeling into the body as to what feels right for you in that particular situation. So yes, connection with others, we thrive on connection, but not to the detriment of who we actually are. Yeah. What is happiness? So I've got two things here, pleasure and fulfillment. They are two different things. So under happiness, you've got pleasure. Feel a pleasant sensation or emotion or satisfaction. But it is fleeting, and you're quickly on to the next hit. So that dopamine hit, that, right, I've got what I want, now I'm on to the next thing. And that's fine. It's fine to have these things. Like an example of that would be, I want that handbag or those pair of shoes. And you save up, or, you go and get them. And for that fleeting moment, you feel that sense of satisfaction, you feel that emotion and that sensation in your body. You're feeling all these things. So you're feeling the pleasure of that thing. But shortly after, it's fleeting. And you're on to the next thing. Does it have the same impact? So those same pairs of shoes or handbag or both that you've gone and bought, if you a month later feel a bit down in the dumps, if you went and got those pair of shoes and handbag out, would you feel the same pleasure? I don't think so. It doesn't give that same hit. That's probably why you get in a cycle of wanting to have nice things. And again, it's not saying you can't have nice things, but it's what's around it and what you're feeling around it and what you're grasping at, back to the grasping of mindfulness. So that's a bit on pleasure. It's quick, it's fleeting. Fulfillment, however, is a completely different ballgame. Fulfillment refers to feeling whole, deeply satisfied, not just quenching a thirst, not just the superficial satisfaction, a deep satisfaction and profoundly alive. So what's an example of that? Can you think of one compared to this feeling of pleasure? Again, not saying pleasure's wrong, but fulfillment. When did you actually feel whole, deeply satisfied and profoundly alive? When did you last feel like that? An example is you could be with your family and using the mindfulness tools, and you're out in nature, which gives you a hit anyway. The pleasure hit, you're getting a hit because you're out in nature, but you could be out in nature. It could be a warm, sunny day. I mean, I'm going to say that. I'm in England. So I am going to feel fulfilled if there's sun there. I do personally. So you're with your family, the sun is shining, you're feeling it on your face, there's maybe music, you might be having a barbecue with friends and family, it's all feeling really nice. And you might just pay attention to that and that feeling and go back to the pleasure. You feel the pleasure, but then you drop because it feels a bit deeper. It feels, I'm so blessed to have this, and I feel whole when I'm with my family, and I feel deeply satisfied that we're all healthy, and we're going to come on to gratitude. But we feel profoundly alive. It's like, this is what we're here for. The connection, the being happy, the free from suffering. When we're not in suffering, we're happy. We're with our family, we've got connection. And that's when we feel more fulfilled with our lives. That's just one example. I'm sure you can think of some that are more relevant for you. So there's a quote about fulfillment that I just wanted to read to you. And it's from Melly O'Brien, who's Mrs. Mindfulness. Go check her out. She's brilliant. I've followed her for a while now. And she, I don't know if I say I followed her. And this quote is from Finding Fulfillment in a Frantic World. So I'm not sure if that's a book or if it's a course she's doing. I wrote this a while ago, so bear with me. Frog in my throat, sorry. Okay, so on fulfillment. This is not just a fleeting feeling. It's a background sense of ease and aliveness that sinks into your bones and takes up residence inside you like warm sunshine. Fulfillment stays with you through the natural ups and downs of human life. In essence, it's a feeling of being full, enough, whole, and deeply connected with life. So that just brings to mind those words, I am enough. I am being full, a sense of being full, a deep connection with life. That's what we're aiming for. Now, we are human beings. We do suffer, but we are most happiest when we're free from suffering. So we have to take it all. But when we feel the good stuff, the pleasant, the happiness, the pleasure, the fulfillment, these are the things that we have to really, really work on keeping, not keeping as in grasping. We need to work on being more mindful in them in the moment to absorb it, because our bodies take longer to absorb and become more mindful and aware of the pleasant emotions, because they're not for survival. But I'll come on to that a bit more. Excuse me, I'll just take a drink. And we're moving on now to what is gratitude. The quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for and to return with kindness. I'll read that again. The quality of being thankful, a readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. So I'm giving examples. An appreciation and being ready to be thankful. When someone has given you a compliment, how do you respond? Do you just go, oh, this old thing, just from a charity shop, and knock it off? Or do you actually embody that and being thankful that you've had connection with someone and they've given you a compliment? A readiness to show appreciation and to return the kindness. So when we're in that moment of really embodying things and being aware and paying attention, we might then later on that day, because we've been in that zone, we might later on in that day see somebody and give them a compliment. You see, I use this example a lot. You see it when people are driving and you let somebody out, and then further along you see that person let someone out. You paid for a coffee, you pay it forward, you've bought a coffee for someone, and then someone does the same. And that kindness, that paying it forward, that appreciation for what you've got, appreciation for your family, appreciation for the roof over your head, appreciation for the job you have. We'll come on to that in a minute as well, about flipping the narrative. I've got to go to work. I get to go to work. So that appreciation, it affirms there's good in life. This day and age, what we've all been through in the last few years, it's easy to think that life isn't great anymore. It's doom and gloom. It's easy to think that. And it hasn't been easy, and it's acknowledging that and all the feelings that come up with that. But it's even more important then is to affirm the good things in life, and gratitude helps us do that. If we can live a life of gratitude where everything we are mindful about, we can say, I'm grateful for that, and let that sink in. That then affirms that there is good in life because we're grateful for it and we're acknowledging it every day throughout the day. Not just as a practice, as a journal thing at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, but throughout the day as well, embodying it, because that's when the hormones are released, when we sit in it for longer. Give recognition that it's come from someone else. So back to that connection. You feel gratitude for what someone has done to you, and you acknowledge that connection, and you recognize that it's come from somebody else. So not only it affirms that there's good in life, it affirms that there's good people still in this world. Now I know, again, with everything that's happened, some people have maybe feel a bit bitter about it all, and maybe they've got some right to, but maybe they have this appearance on the world that's how they show up now because of what they've been through, and they don't do the work, and we feel that there's just people, everyone's horrible now, I don't like people. I hear that phrase a lot. But again, if we're more mindful and pay attention to when the good stuff happens, when the real connection happens, then we can be grateful for that and hold that in our hearts and realise that there's not just good in life, there are good people in life too. I give an example in one of my videos about when we ask people how they are, and we just go, hi, you all right? And yeah, thanks, you. And that's it. That's not connection. That is not connection. We're asking to just get a yeah. We're not even bothered what the reply is. And we reply not saying what we truly feel. Where's the connection there? It's disconnection. So my example is I heard someone saying that they went to a coffee shop and the cashier said, the checkout person said, how's your day? How's your day going? And she actually replied honestly and said, oh, I'm not having a good day actually. And the woman was first taken aback, but then she replied, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Me too. I'm having a rubbish day too. It's not great, is it? And that's connection. That's someone hearing you and seeing you and actually connecting because they actually feel the same. Even if they didn't feel the same, she's still seeing and hearing. She's not pushed that thought away and just went, oh, right, there's your coffee. She's actually said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Me too. That's connection. And if we pay attention to more of that in our lives, then we can feel more gratitude and we can start to feel that there's good stuff in life. There's good stuff in life, there's good people in life, and that brings us more fulfillment. More happiness and well-being when we are practicing gratitude. So we've covered that. Okay. Moving on to how to work with gratitude. So, and the first word I've got there is complaining. That's not gratitude, Carrie. Okay, how to work with gratitude. Complaining is the opposite of gratitude. We cannot be grateful and complain at the same time. Stop complaining and start gratituding. I don't know if that's a word, I've made it up. Stop complaining and start gratituding. Now, I'm going to hold my hands up here. I probably am going to do a video on this, but there's 3 C's. In fact, I'm probably going to make it 4, but I've heard of it as the 3 C's. Complain, criticise and compare. I don't compare much. I criticise myself and I complain a bit too much. And that gets us into suffering. So we don't want that. So if we can be mindful of complaining less, because complaining is telling us what we're lacking. And you can go down the whole manifestation road with that. But when we complain and we're in lack, we're complaining of what we lack, we're doing the complete opposite of practicing gratitude, which is shouting about what we've got. Yeah, so we need to stop complaining and start gratituding. It's as simple as that. Well, that's it. Simple as that in writing, but it's a bit harder to practice it. And it's just a case of like, if you can pause before you speak sometimes, and you know you've got that thought and you're about to complain about something, could be the weather, and you're about to complain about the weather and you go, I won't bother. Where does it get us when we complain? I say I do it, but what's it do? It lowers our energy. It makes us think about all the bad stuff in life, and that's not where we want our focus. Our attention goes where energy flows. So we don't want our attention on that stuff. We want our attention. We need to be more mindful of where we put in our attention. So if we're not complaining about people or situations, and we're grateful of the things that are in our lives, so we're not pushing that other stuff away. We're just not putting our focus on there. We choose not to focus on that. I know it's there, and I'll work around it if I can. I'll do what I need to do to get over those hurdles or the things I'm complaining about. The weather, what is the point of complaining about the weather? We can't do anything about it. So put our attention in places where we can do something about it, and practicing gratitude is one of those things that we can put our attention and focus on. Start to really experience life. Tune into your senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Really, when was the last time you really tasted a meal? When was the last time you really tasted your cup of tea? I know it's hard if you're a busy mum, parent, and it's hard to even taste the temperature. Well, you can still taste a cold tea. But yeah, really take it, especially that first one, which is all the more tasty, right? That first bite of something. I'm a bit of I hold my hands up, I'm a chocoholic, and I will just wolf it down unless I'm doing the practices. And you know, you don't, when you're doing mindfulness with something like that, like something really tasty or something that you really want, you actually don't feel the need to have the whole thing, or more at least, because you've actually been present while you have it. What I tend to do is in a state of stress, I will go and get the chocolate and I will ram it down while I'm doing the stressful thing. And that's what I need to stop doing. I need to disassociate having chocolate as a comfort in my time of stress. And something I've thought of trying, try it if you want and see how you get on. I haven't actually got to it yet, but one of the things I was going to do is I quite like that tickling, that sense of tickling. And if I did that, because it feels nice, that is sending signals to my brain that, and I'm getting a bit of a hit from that because it feels nice. I don't need to rush for the chocolate because I'm, you know, the receptors of that pleasure receptors are getting something. So I'm yet to try it. But if you want to give it a go and say in the comments how it's helped you, I'd be really interested, because it is on my list to do and I'm quite interested to see how it works. Technically it should. So yeah, really experience life. How can we experience life if we're not being mindful with it? Smell, sight. You know, when have you last stopped because you saw an amazing sunset? I mean, some people, we're doing it more. You know, people are pulling over in the cars to take pictures of nice scenes like that. Just, yeah, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Really feel things. Really get your tactileness in. I'm doing lots of good language today, aren't I? Just get tactile with things. Get playful with your kids. What does this feel like? What does this smell like? And really embody the moment as best you can. I know back to the food thing, I know when I used to go, I haven't been for a while, on retreats, on like mindfulness retreats or meditation retreats, and it would be in silence, and we used to like be aware of our food before we ate it. And if you wanted to do a prayer, that wasn't my thing, but if you wanted to do a prayer before you could, or just to say you're grateful for your food you're about to have, I would say thank you for everyone that's made this possible, before I picked up my knife and fork. And then I came home and tried to carry that on. It didn't last very long, I'm afraid, but one thing was, if I hadn't done it at the point of picking up my cutlery, picking up the cutlery would be a reminder to do it. So there's another one I need to get back into. And saying thankful for this food and everybody that's brought it to there. Because, you know, it could be the butcher if you do eat meat. It could be from the supermarket people, the delivery people, everybody, you know, the people that are on the checkout, the people, everything that is made it possible. The weather has made it possible to have this food. So just a thankful practice in that. Look for and be aware of the good things in life. So any sense of achievement or pleasure, any sense of achievement that you've had, stop, pause, acknowledge it. We don't do this enough. This is something I am practicing, self-praise, because I've done a lot of work on myself to know that I am good enough in everything that I have in life. I'm good enough for it. I deserve everything. But what I have got a block around is that my work isn't good enough. So I am being more mindful of when I do a good job on something, instead of waiting for external validation, I give it to myself. that was better than that. You're improving. You're feeling and looking more confident in something. Well done. And I've said this before. I will make, but I've done a draft version of an audio. And in it, I'll say things like, or I do say, well done for pressing play. Really well done for coming here. And it sounds cheesy, but it sounds cheesy because we don't say it. And the fact is, we need to say it more, because I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone in feeling that what I do isn't good enough. And we don't need to wait for external situations, people, to give us that. We don't need to wait for appraisal time and our boss to tell us we're doing a good job. We know if we're doing a good job or not. And we need to give that to ourselves. And then you'll get a sense of pleasure around that until the next one, right? Until the next hit. But that's good, because that's going to help you with growth. Sit with it for at least 30 seconds and let it sink in. So I've touched on this. Sit with something for the pleasure needs to be sat with, the emotion, for longer than the negative stuff. Because the negative sticks like Velcro. The pleasure stuff slides off like Teflon. Reason being, it's down to survival. The hormones that are released when we're in the negative survival stress state come to us really quick. Like within 3 seconds, those hormones are released and we're in that fight, flight, freeze. Because that's about our danger. That's about our survival. What do we need to do to get out of the way? Quick, respond. So that's why we have a negative bias, for survival. But we have a consciousness that can actually, we don't need that as much in this day and age. What we do need, because with our stress is from other things now, and it's more often. So what we do need is, when we have the positive emotions, the pleasure feelings and sensations, we need to hold on to them more, because it takes longer for the hormone to be released for that emotion. So we need 30 seconds. So I always say, if you're hugging someone, hug them for 30 seconds. You'll get used to knowing how long that is. And at first it feels really, really odd. It does. But that will get the oxytocin going. That will get that sense of connection going. And the more we do that, the less weird it feels for both people. And you will just get that sense of pleasure throughout the day. And it's those that we need to remember. Because when we remember things and make a memory and make an experience of it, from an experience we get a memory. And that can bring, that's a sense of fulfilled life. Instead of remembering all the things to complain about. It's like you've gone out to the shops, you've had, you've gone out to the shops and you've had one bad experience from the person on the till, compared to 10 that you've had with friends and family or other people in other shops. But you'll go home and tell your spouse about that one bad person. Well, no, let's flip that. We need to start saying and feeling these more and hold it in ourselves and repeat those memories. They're the stories we need to repeat so we can keep feeling them in our body, so that we can get an overall sense that our life is fulfilled. It is good what is in our lives. So sit with it for at least 30 seconds, let it sink in. Repetition of the positive helps it to stick as well. So similar, just do it more often. Acknowledge and feel gratitude. Not just say it or write it. Acknowledge or feel gratitude. Write a gratitude diary. So it is about that as well, but it's, like I just said before, not just say or write it. don't just make that a practice at the beginning or the end of your day. It has to be an embodiment in your life throughout the day. You know, you go and see that sunset. I did it last night. I actually saw it was orange and it was just going down. By the time I got so I could see it, it's gone. But I could see the orange glow and I was like, I was really appreciating it. It's those kind of things, especially when we're in that stress zone all the time. I mean, I am feeling that at the minute. So that's why, I've never really done that. I've done that once, one other time. But I did do it last night as well. And it just helps. It really helps to like say, oh, something good to really embody. Be grateful for what we have in our lives. Yeah. So then we move down to here. So just a quick list of things I am grateful for. People in my life, family, friends, connection, pets, nature, scenery, my senses, food and drink, form of transport, job. So this is what I mean. Sometimes we're like, oh, I've got to go to work. You get to go to work. Flip it. You get to go to work. You get to be with your kids. You get to have senses. Some people can't see. Some people can't have kids. Some people can't walk. I'm thankful for my mobility. Some people aren't independent and rely on other people. So thankful for my independence. And if you don't have independence, thankful for the people that are around to support you. Thanks for my safety and security. If all you've got is a roof over your head, be thankful for that. Your house. So, and then the kindness of others to finish there, the kindness of others. So be thankful for that. So it's something, if you're going to have a gratitude diary, I would say to have one. As long as you can make it a habit, it doesn't matter when you can do it, morning and night. But I would do this at first glance in your first page. And then you want to try and not be saying the same things, because you want to keep looking out for it in the day. And then at night, I tend to do mine at night, but a lot of people do it in the morning. It doesn't matter, as long as it's a habit. You can say how many. If you're going to say do 10, it's got to try not to be repetitive, because then it doesn't feel like it's actually happened and you've actually embodied it in the day. So if 10's too much, bring it down to 5, even 3. It's got to feel real. It can't just be a list, a made up list, and you can't just go, oh, I can't think of one to do, I'll just pick one off my mind map. You know. And then lastly then, moving, yes, it's after this. So lastly on the sheet is how to achieve fulfillment. Wake up and be mindful of the present moment. So when we wake up, we often think about our to-do list straight away. Or what day is it? Is it a good day today? I know I do that. I'll wake up and like, what have I got on today? Is it good or not? And I've had that thought before I've even gotten out of bed. And instead, what we need to do is wake up, and that should be your first gratitude. Thankful for waking up, because not everyone gets to do that either. I'm thankful for waking up. I'm thankful for opening my eyes. I'm thankful for my breath. I'm thankful that I can turn my legs off and touch the floor. Some people do that. As soon as their feet touch the floor, they say, thank you. So that's something you could try. That's before you've even got downstairs. And then I'm thankful for my coffee. I'm thankful for my meditation. I'm thankful for stillness. I'm thankful for peace. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm thankful for peace. So live your values. What's really important and meaningful to you? And gratitude may be one of those values. I have done a previous video on values, but I think it was under the other name of Mind and Body Balance. So if you want to check that out, I'm trying to do new stuff, so I don't really want to repeat that on this channel. But values and beliefs are really important, and we don't check in on them. I think we didn't really do them when we were a kid. I don't really remember doing them. Values and beliefs. What's really important to you? What do you value in your life? Because again, if we're not valuing things, then what's the point? If we're not valuing the things in our lives and we're not grateful for the things, and they need to go, and we need to have new values, that we need to keep reviewing them. values what's important to you. What do you value in life? Mine are, I'll share mine. Happiness, happy, healthy, calm, kind, and fun. Happy, healthy, calm, kind, and fun. And I would say don't go with any more than 5 because it's hard to remember them. And if you're doing things and you're being mindful, is this making me happy? Is this making other people happy? Am I healthy by eating this thing? Do I really want it? And if so, that's fine. Am I mindfully choosing to have it, or am I feeling an addiction? Back to the stress. Am I in stress, so now I want chocolate? Is this following my value of being healthy? Is there a better way to manage my stress? There's some examples, but if you haven't got values, how can you live mindfully, and therefore how can you live a fulfilled life? How is it fulfilled if you've got nothing, no comparison to it? Not in the compare word that I said about before, but like if you've got nothing to relate your life to as like values, then how do you know you're fulfilling it? You've got to have some sort of marker, some sort of thing to relate to know that you're actually getting somewhere with your life, that there's a point to it, as opposed to you just going through the motions. There is just a couple of things I'll try and whiz through because I know we're already quite far in. And this is back to the bank rather. And it is put page 3 there, put the wrong thing. Back to the balance is like living life with balance. Live a life of acceptance, live a life of non-judgment, and live a life of kindness and compassion. Bank these precious jewels and reap their rewards for the benefit of ourselves and others. So that was just to recap on that. But now I'll go back to where we were. And those things there. Okay, so I just want to do a little quote by Joseph Campbell, and it's to say, people say that what we're all seeking is a meaning for life. I don't think that's what we're seeking. I think that what we're really seeking is the experience of being alive, so that our life experiences will have resonance with our own innermost being and reality, so that we actually feel the rapture of being alive. It's that alive. Back to this one. Fulfillment, profoundly being alive. What makes you light up? And when you're doing these things in life, let them sink in for 30 seconds or more. Okay, moving on to our poem, a meditation, and then the poem at the end. So if you'd like to close your eyes. Think of a recent time when you found yourself complaining about something. Recall the situation and the feelings, thoughts, and sensations that occurred for you. Allow them to be there. Can you feel the label, the emotions? Can you label the emotions? Can you feel the sensations in your body? Be curious as to why they appeared for you. Now think of a reason in this situation in which you can be grateful for something. Notice the feelings, thoughts, and sensations now. Allow them to be here. Can you label these emotions? can you feel the sensations in your body? How do you feel now? Tight and restricted, or spacious and more free? If you think of the complaint now, what do you feel? Nurture this feeling. Be aware of this feeling. And just moving on to values, what matters most in your life? What would you like to let go of? Who do you choose to be? Keeping your eyes closed for this gratitude poem. I haven't got an author, but it was on sacredpoems.com. Gratitude. What is it you are thankful for? How will you let it show? Sharing your gratitude with others will surely make it grow. Perhaps some time with family, or just some time to rest. Times when you are doing nothing can sometimes be the best. Maybe it is the health you have, or family in your life. Could it be a home that's warm, or just a loving wife? Simple things that we enjoy should let our joy exude. Don't take these things for granted as you show your gratitude. And if you've got your eyes closed, you can open them now. I hope that's been useful. We've covered what do we want from life, what is happiness, what is gratitude, how to work with gratitude, how to achieve fulfillment, and we finished with a meditation and a poem there. So go back to that bit in the meditation and get your journal out and write down those questions, and you can keep coming back to them in a contemplative meditation like we just did there. I'll keep just playing the video through. But if you want to have a little bit more time with it, you can just think of those questions yourself. So I'd advise that, recommend that. Any aha moments, anything you've enjoyed there, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear them. I hope it's been helpful. Take care, much love. Bye for now.